They make you walk all the way across the stage to earn your keep. I swear Mitch has not aged a minute or a day since I worked with him 20 plus years ago. Would you agree, Kim? It's just, and I've got all the gray hair, I don't know. Well, thank you, Mitch, I appreciate it. Today we've heard a number of interesting and challenging presentations. Presentations that I would guess might even have Sheryl Sandberg leaning in. Social networking, mobile, embracing change, the new connected consumer, flow states, the kinship economy, lots of forward-thinking topics. Well, for the next 10 minutes, I'm going to try to get you excited about a research technique that brings in about $9 billion a year, represents about 40% of all survey research globally, and continues to grow in many parts of the world. So what is it? It's online survey research. Now, before you charge out or you start checking your email or go get a drink, I know it's not new, I know it's not sexy, but I've just told you why you should care about it. It's still big, and it's actually getting bigger. And while many have predicted the demise of survey research in years to come, the fact is, for at least the foreseeable future, online survey research will continue to provide insights that fuel many of our most critical business decisions. So if that is the case, shouldn't we continue to care about making sure that the data that comes from the online surveys that we design, sell, buy, and analyze are of appropriate quality to support the marketing decisions that we and our business partners make using them? I think the answer to that question is an obvious yes. It's clearly not a new question. In fact, concerns about online data quality reached a tipping point a few years ago when the research community asked the ARF to coordinate a collaborative study on online data quality issues, which ultimately became the foundation of Quality Initiatives, the largest project in ARF history. That study showed that different research panels produced different results that differed both against national benchmarks and on concept purchase intent scores. Panels also varied significantly in terms of panelist tenure, demographics, recruiting methods, incentives, and standard data weighting and balancing procedures couldn't fix those differences. As the learning from that initiative was being translated into practice, we and our members realized that more research was needed to meet industry needs. The continued growth of online survey research and rapid change in technology called for additional work to explore topics that not included in the first study. And by the way, we now refer to that first study as Foundations of Quality 1, FOQ1. The FOQ1 sponsors urged us to adopt a risk management orientation, and that advice has significantly shaped what has become Foundations of Quality 2, the sequel to FOQ1, which we launched just this past year. FOQ2 set out to study key drivers of online research quality, to propose and implement actionable solutions to drive data quality delivery, to recommend clear and consistent policies to identify and use online sample sources, and to educate the industry and to promote best practices in online research quality. Our plan was and still is to study the impact of 8 online research management practices on survey response quality. These 8 practices are respondent sample sources, respondent selection procedures, the use of routers for sample optimization, respondent identity verification processes, respondent motivation and incentives, procedures to reduce or eliminate undesired within survey behavior, survey participation frequency, and post hoc weighting procedures. 12 companies that buy research have contributed funds to support FOQ2. 23 companies that sell research have contributed sample, research design, survey hosting, data processing, and analytical support. Dozens, literally dozens of volunteers have contributed hours and hours of time because they share the passion and they share the vision that we're doing something of critical importance for the industry. We've completed nearly 75,000 unduplicated surveys, making this the second largest initiative in ARF history, second only to FOQ1, for which we completed 85,000 surveys. I want to give you just a taste of what we're learning so far as we delve into the data. Respondents were able to access the survey on whatever technology they preferred. As a result, over 2,000 respondents took the online survey on a smartphone, and a slightly larger number took the survey on a tablet. This is the primary way that these respondents access the internet. Well, we found that these respondents tended to be younger, less well off, and generally feel more stressed about their lives. Interestingly, the proportion of respondents who completed the survey in a single session was the same regardless of the technology that they used to complete the survey. And further, the smartphone respondents enjoyed taking the survey at the same level as those who took the survey either on a tablet or a PC. We have a lot more to learn about these respondents, and we expect that the FOQ2 survey will provide us with many insights about their world, their mindset, and their motivations for taking surveys. As you are probably aware, an increasingly large number of surveys are fielded using a sample router. If you don't have any idea what sample routing is, don't feel bad. You're not alone. Use of sample routing is growing. Routers are evolving, and they're not very well understood by clients. I encourage all of you, especially if you're a research buyer, to make it your mission to learn about routers. FOQ2 offers us the opportunity to learn together and to assess the impact, the benefits, and the risks of routing. We tested 3 router conditions in FOQ2, along with a control using an unrouted survey. Our router conditions included a serial router with a relatively small number of screeners, a serial router with an extended number of screeners, and a parallel router with all of the screeners on a single page. I'm not going to go deeply into any more of this at this point, but I encourage you to join us and learn more about routers as we move ahead. We're in the early stages of our assessment of router effects. But so far, we're not seeing any sort of consistent bias or large variation across the cells. Now, it's too early to say that there won't be significant differences uncovered as we study this, differences between the extended serial router and the non-router survey. But we anticipate at this point that any differences we do discover will not be menacing. Finally, our FOQ2 sample sources included both panels and rivers. We sometimes hear concerns about blending river and panel sample, but early data suggests that the river sample provided by our suppliers delivered results that look comparable to the panel sample results. So what's in it for the industry as we look at FOQ2? In the short term, we expect to deliver common understanding, focus, and terminology around key online research practices. We plan to share what we call appropriate practice models for both research sellers and research buyers. Longer term, we intend to deliver quality metrics and practices to help reduce risk and waste, and tools for survey approaches that will allow us to reduce bias, to better match research design with research needs, and to better align research price and value. Tomorrow, this is the infomercial part, tomorrow you have the opportunity to meet the leaders of the FOQ team as we share some of the preliminary learning from the groundbreaking industry initiative. It will be your chance to be among the first to learn what's being discovered. And beyond the initial findings, the ongoing FOQ2 analysis plan will also be shared. I hope you'll plan to join us tomorrow at 3:35 in the Insight Zone on the 5th floor. I think you'll find it interesting, and we look forward to sharing what we're learning with you and getting your input. Thank you very much. Back to you, Mitch.
Thank you, Don.